You meet someone. The chemistry is undeniable. Conversations flow effortlessly. Then suddenly, she goes cold. Most men panic, thinking they did something wrong. But what if her distance has nothing to do with you and everything to do with what's actually happening inside her mind? Because here's what research on attachment and intimacy reveals. When emotional connection intensifies unexpectedly, the brain doesn't always celebrate. Sometimes it triggers a fear response. Not because the person is wrong for you, but because vulnerability feels like stepping off solid ground. Studies on human bonding patterns show that people who value independence highly can experience internal conflict when developing deeper feelings. Part of them craves connection. Part of them fears losing control. And that tension creates the push-pull behavior that leaves so many men confused. Think about it this way. She texts you back instantly one day. Deep conversation, real laughs, genuine connection. The next day, one-word responses, hours between replies, emotional shutdown. You probably interpreted this as loss of interest. But here's what was likely happening. The warmer she felt the night before, the more distance she needed the next morning. It wasn't random. It was her nervous system trying to recalibrate. From personal experience and observation, I've learned this. If someone truly doesn't care, the temperature stays consistently cold. They just don't engage. But this back and forth, that's internal conflict playing out in real time. Here's another pattern worth noticing. She takes hours to respond to your messages, but views your stories within minutes. She acts distant in conversation, but remembers details you barely remember sharing. She says she's busy, but somehow knows exactly what you were doing last weekend. This is the behavior of someone paying attention despite trying not to. Women who are genuinely uninterested don't invest mental energy tracking your life. They don't replay conversations in their head. But someone who's scared of their own feelings, they're watching closely while overcompensating by appearing distant in direct interactions. Now here's where most men make their biggest mistake. When she pulls back, you either chase harder trying to convince her it's safe, or you walk away completely, assuming she's playing games. Both approaches backfire. Chasing confirms you need her validation. Walking away confirms you never actually cared. Neither builds safety. Neither creates attraction. So what actually works? Give her space, but don't disappear. Match her energy not out of pettiness, but out of respect for her process. If she pulls back, you pull back too. Not to punish her, but to show you're not sitting around waiting for her to decide your worth. Stay consistent, but not clingy. Check in occasionally. Keep it light and genuine. Show her you're still interested, but your world doesn't revolve around her response time. Instead of, "Hey, haven't heard from you. Everything okay?" Try, "Saw this article on something you mentioned and thought of you. Hope you're doing well." See the difference? One reeks of anxiety. The other shows you're living a life interesting enough to have things worth sharing. Here's what creates real attraction during this phase. Based on psychological research, women are drawn to emotional depth but repelled by emotional dependency. And you might not know the difference. Depth means you're in touch with your feelings. You can articulate them. You're comfortable with vulnerability. Dependency means you need her to regulate your emotions or validate your worth. One is attractive, the other is suffocating. Ask yourself honestly, when she goes distant, are you upset because you're losing connection with someone you value, or because you're losing the validation that makes you feel okay about yourself? There's no judgment here, just awareness. Share your own experiences with vulnerability. Not to create pity, but to create connection. Instead of, "I really like you and I'm scared of losing you," try, "I've been in situations where I got too attached too fast, so I get the hesitation." Same message, completely different energy. The first puts pressure on her to fix your anxiety. The second shows you understand the complexity of human emotion, including your own. And here's the final piece that changes everything. Every moment you spend analyzing her signals is a moment you're not spending building yourself. Hit the gym, because physical discipline builds mental strength. Pursue your goals, because purpose is naturally attractive. Spend time with people who value you, because quality relationships remind you of your worth. When she sees you thriving, not desperate, not waiting, not broken by her distance, two things happen. She realizes you're not putting your life on hold, and she starts to feel safe, because a man who's secure in himself is someone she can trust. The paradox is this: the more you focus on her, the less attractive you become. The more you focus on yourself, the more attractive you become. Not because you're playing games, but because you're demonstrating stability. And stability isn't boring. It's rare. You cannot force someone to stop being afraid, but you can become the kind of person who makes fear feel unnecessary. Not by convincing her with words, but by showing her through consistency, depth, and self-respect. If this resonated with you, drop a comment below and subscribe for more insights on understanding connection without losing yourself in it.